Chapter 14, The New Earth. The New Earth is a broad spectrum subject. Allow me to explain. Each of us create our own Earth based on what we believe to be true. I have said this before. I have also stated that frequency is the key, and that every time we raise our frequencies, we jump to the Earth that matches that specific frequency. The New Earth is a perfect example of this theory, although for me it's not a theory. Please bear in mind that there are infinite possibilities, and my future may be different than your future, which means the new Earth I experience may be different from yours. Remember, one thing changes, everything changes. This is not a prediction. This is simply the way I'm seeing it now. From what I have gathered from many sources, including my own higher self, is this. There are at least 2 new Earth scenarios occurring that I am aware of. Again, bear in mind that these are group scenarios, which means one group of souls will experience one version, while a completely different group will experience another. So do not fret if everyone doesn't experience the same Earth you do, because it is all determined by personal choice. I will now differentiate between the 2 versions. In version 1, old Earth's frequency continues to rise, which means, of course, the people will awaken to their truth. They have chosen to remain here and work at healing the planet of all the problems we have created here. The water in the oceans, lakes, and rivers will be purified. The pollution in the atmosphere will be addressed as well. The monetary system will be reworked entirely. Money will be redistributed equally among all souls. Big changes. All present debt will be forgiven. That includes mortgages, food, housing, everything will be made available to all. There will be many changes. All will change in order to support the planet, instead of damaging it. Vehicles will run on alternative fuels, no more fossil fuels. People will reach out to help one another instead of creating wars. Love will eventually take the helm and win out over fear. This scenario, of course, will take time. There has also been so much damage to the Earth due to the greed and disconcern of its unawakened inhabitants and its warmongering, self-focused leaders. Star Family will assist in the massive cleanup. They will appear following the event. They will reteach the entire population. We have been deceived for way too long. In order for change to occur, we must let go of old beliefs which have entrapped us, and cling to new beliefs and truths which will be introduced to us along with an enlightened understanding. In version 2 of the New Earth, I see a whole different scenario. People might argue that this is the same Earth, just at a different frequency. Well, it is, and yet it isn't at the same time. Due to free will here, one group decides to experience something different, and blammo, a whole new alternate timeline is born. At least that is what I am being shown. Bad thing is, we each see it differently, so there is much confusion surrounding the information coming through. It is like a mishmash of information which doesn't seem to line up when compared, and of course it doesn't, because it can't. People are talking about 2 individual timelines, 2 completely independent scenarios. Heck, even I had the 2 intertwined for a while, but I can see it clearer now. Version 2 is what I've chosen for myself. Instead of the slow method of healing the planet, I've chosen to jump directly to a pristine, all-natural version of the new Earth. It will reside within the energies of the 5th dimension. The new Earth will be a whole new game, a whole new way of living. The frequency will be much higher. What does that mean? Higher frequency means we're closer to Source, which means more love. This planet will be based in love instead of fear. We will learn our lessons based in love, joy, and kindness instead of fear, suffering, and pain. The higher frequency also means we will have greater connection to Source, which means greater understanding. We will know who we are. There will be no veil of forgetfulness. There will be no pain or suffering, because we will be able to heal ourselves. When we first arrive, we can choose to have a body or not. Most will start out with bodies because that's what we're used to. Later on, we can choose to lose the physical body. The new bodies will be lighter and sleek. They will be crystalline based instead of carbon based. They will be slightly taller, and the skin will be semi-transparent. Eating will not be necessary. We can absorb whatever nutrients we require through the energy around us. We can eat if we wish. There will be an endless amount of new fruits and vegetables at our disposal. New Earth will be wildly beautiful. Vivid colors will paint the surrounding flowers and fields. Rivers, lakes, and waterfalls abound. Trees and beautiful fairy tale forests are everywhere you look. It is truly a Garden of Eden. The people will be spread out into smaller individual communities instead of huge cities. That way there is far less impact on nature itself. We will live in nature, as nature, instead of destroying it. A couple years ago I was given a tour of one of the communities. No, it wasn't a dream. I was taken there in my light body. I visited one of the communities. There are no roads. There is no concrete. The homes were nestled inside a long rolling hill. Reminded me of Hobbit homes. Is that if the homes were part of nature instead of clunky, unattractive boxes stuck out in the open. There was also a communion-type center further down from the homes. It was a place for families and friends to gather, to meet or gather. It had an outdoor auditorium, classrooms, and shops containing whatever interest you could possibly imagine. There was a dining entertainment area overlooking the most amazing view of the valley and the river below, with the mountains beyond that. The center had vibrant colors and geometric shapes incorporated within the whole complex. I did not wish to leave. It was so beautiful. The whole unit was nestled perfectly where that it did not interfere with nature. It actually worked with nature. It was a brilliantly thought out design. I have also heard information about communities living in tree houses and high up in the canopies of enormous trees, and also communities with dome-shaped structures as homes. There will be no fossil fuel burning vehicles. In fact, the use of vehicles will not be needed at all. As a fifth-dimensional being, we will be able to send our consciousness out from ourselves to whatever location we choose. It is called bilocation. It will be a great way to explore not only the new Earth, but also other planets, dimensions, and worlds. There is no need to go there physically when you can go there consciously. The gravity there is much lighter than here, which will allow us to make incredible jumps and leaps. Not only that, but we will have the ability to fly. Yes, you heard me right. We can fly from place to place in our bodies. Who needs cars? We also will have the gift of telepathy. We will be able to communicate without spoken words. Yes, that does mean we will know what each other is thinking at any moment. There will be no more secrets, but then again, secrets will not necessarily in a society where everybody loves each other as much as themselves. Secrets will not be necessary in a society where everyone loves each other as much as themselves. If someone calls a meeting, everyone will show up, because everyone will hear the thought and receive the message at the same time. There will be no need for phones. We'll be able to visit our loved ones at any time, either by going there constantly or by projecting our thoughts. On New Earth, the babies being born will not forget who they are. There will be no veil of forgetfulness. They will know who they are. We will know who they are. We will live as our higher selves. That is, all our individual facets as a soul will merge as one. We will have all the experiences from the total of all of our lifetimes rolled into one. We will know our connection to Source, and will live our lives with unlimited possibilities. There will be no monetary system. We will each have everything we need. We will no longer connect who we are to our material possessions. We will be free to be. We will be free to create. We will be free to travel. It will be a stress-free environment. There will be no more death. If you get bored with the game, then you will simply move on to your next adventure. With the veil lifted, you will be amazed at who you really are and what you can really do. This is not some fantasy story. The new Earth already exists. 14 years ago, my wife and I lost a son about 6 months into the pregnancy. It was one of the things that triggered my awakening. I named him Gabriel. I found out through a recent regression that Gabe is now on the new Earth. He is waiting for me to come. He excitedly says that it will be soon, really soon. Of course, I know to them time is irrelevant, but I feel he is correct. After all, it is why I and many others are here at this time, to see this through and to make it happen. We will succeed. In fact, we already have.